So it's funny, you guys, because right after I did that live, right, where I was telling you guys what I posted and just how I feel in general about being asked very simple-minded fourth grade level questions, right? Especially when the answer is right in front of your face. I was raised, and just to give you guys some background, I was raised to not ask questions I can find the answer to. So how my parents would do it is I would need, if I asked a question, would maybe ask another question for me to get me to think and answer my own question. She was never the person that was going to give me that answer right away. If I wanted to know the definition of a word, she'd tell me, go pull out the dictionary and go grab your dictionary and pull out the word, right? So teaching me thus to find the answer on my own, be very what's the word? I really believe that's why I'm very problem solving. Like I'm very solution oriented, right? And I think that's part of it. Um so I do, and again, I understand that not everybody thinks the same way. However, I don't think everybody's challenged the same way either. And so that's just one of those things where it's like, bro, if you see that it's on my profile and you're genuinely interested in me, you're going to take the time to figure out me before I even speak, right? So I had a man right after I did that live with y'all. He asked me, so where you from? I said, you know what? I said, LOL. I didn't even have it in me to really go into it. I just told him, take care. And the reason why I'm in conversation is these people also follow me. So you have to understand that I have to have a level of engagement, but I hate stupid questions. So in my mind, I had just made a post about it. And I'm like, really, bro? Like, are we really doing this? Like, you just asked me, like, I just got done doing a live. Literally, not even 15 minutes later, this man is asking me, right, for where am I from? And it's interesting because I'm like, nigga, I feel like you might have watched my live or something, right? So I sent him my post because he was like, well, why are you like basically why? Like, why are you just not wanting to talk? And I'm trying to give folks the benefit of the doubt. I'm not trying to be an asshole completely. Um, but we're gonna talk on my terms. It's got nothing to do with the man. Like, I have no problem getting rid of you, right? If I'm going to talk to you, it will be on my terms. It's that simple, right? Like, this is non-negotiable, right? You want my time, then you need to show me that it's worth my time. So, and I don't need to approach a man and say those things. That's just how I maneuver. So he comes back and he's like, well, why? Yada yada. And so I just took a screenshot of my post and I sent it to him. When he read it, he said, damn. And it was like a big ass damn, okay? And he said, well, after a few seconds, he said, well, I guess I should have been. He said, you're right. I guess I could have read more. And he's really like, at this point, really realizing, yeah, okay, I mean, it makes sense. It's not like I'm coming at you with nothing silly. The average man is going to argue it because he's so used to asking these silly ass fucking questions, and every girl either ignores or answers, right? And me, I'm saying, stop that shit. Okay. So this is the first time, and I mean, he don't, like I said, I don't know the man, but I give him enough credit in that aspect. He's like, damn, yeah, I probably could have read that. I probably should read more. This is literally how he said it. And he was like, he followed up with a question. Okay. So instantly, right after that, he said it. He said, you know what? He said, well, you're from, and he says the state I'm from, which, like I said, it was readily available. So how he came back, he's like, well, you're from such and such. How long? And you live in such and such. Well, how long you been, what, how long you been out there, or how long have you been, in the state? I said, imagine, and I told him this. Imagine if you would have came at me with that question versus where are you from? Right? I'm not I keep putting it back at that. I'm not every other girl. So you gotta give me something. Like, it's gotta be, if I can't see your personality, right? We don't know each other. We ain't never met each other face to face. Your personality has to shine through your conversation. Right now, today, I've had 3 men ask me, where am I from? 3. And I promise you, if I went through my DMs, I could give you probably hundreds of men that ask that question. Just, it's almost like robotic. Instead of thinking about the person you're actually talking to. It wouldn't care. I don't care if it's me or Sue or Beth Ann or LaQuisha. Show them that you're interested in them. And that's not having me give you the answer. That is not me doing the work for you all the time. That doesn't show interest. If I've got to tell you about myself and you're not studying me, then that's a problem. It's that simple. A man who is interested, I don't even know if men do this. I'm just saying, as a woman, how a woman sees it, if you're interested in me, you're going to do your homework, sir. Meaning that I had a man, I told you guys, the colleague that him and I don't speak at work, that man knows my favorite color. That's kind of crazy. But he does know my favorite color. That's like, I can guarantee you, if I ever got into a space where him and I are cool, he'd probably tell me he's been watching me for some time. Not like no creep, but certain men, because there is a type of male that does that. I don't know what kind of male, but they study the woman, right? If you're interested in her, you study her. And if the information is readily available, why are you asking the question? You should already know it. So imagine if not, well, where are you from? The fuck? That's such, I don't know. That ain't a question that you should be asking me on the internet when that info is on the internet in front of your face. But asking me, yo, you're from such and such. How did what brought you out to college? What brought you here? What brought you? Like, these are questions that have more substance to them. But if you're asking these stupid ass, robotic ass questions, that is not engaging. It's very short. Like, it doesn't give me room. I could ask you, well, where are you from? But like that, why? Give me more. If you want to know who I am, and that's what you're claiming, quote unquote, understand men say one thing and do another. But if that's what you're saying it is, then you're going to ask more questions, right? That actually bring you something tangible to kind of talk about. If it's tit for tat, now you got a question, so now I don't know what else to say, because as a woman, I'm not going to engage you. You have to engage me. It's not going to work the other way around, because I'm not chasing you. I don't even know why you're hitting me up, let alone me chasing you. As a man, if you're the one hitting me up, you know why you're hitting me up. Therefore, it is your job to see that through. And if your questions are, surface level, if they're not engaging, like I said, you got to know internet presence is different than physical presence. If it's not engaging, I'm not really talking to you. And I don't really talk to men in the aspect of, ooh, let's hook up. Like, no, I talk to them just like I would talk to a female. I'm not trying to be rude. Like I said, men make up my following. So if they reach out, if they seem like they're decent, I'll entertain just a little chit chat. You want to chat? Okay, let's chat. I mean, men chat. I didn't know how much they chat, but these motherfuckers be chatting. And then this dude had the nerve to say, oh, you're a gamer? We should hook up, or you should get a system and we should game together. What? Man, I'm gonna need y'all to get off y'all game systems. Like, when you want to hook up with a woman, and not in that way, not in a sexual way, when you want to hook up with a woman, like, you go and you go do things and you plan things. Like, I don't got time for no video games. The fuck? Like, I like video games, but I don't have the time necessarily. Video games, listen, I downloaded Call of Duty on my phone, y'all. I didn't realize how great gaming is on my phone because I hate mobile games. But I kind of am liking Call of Duty right now. Okay. I love the way it looks on my phone. I love my graphics. I love it. I ain't even about to lie to you. I think that's the biggest reason why I like Call of Duty right now. But I also recognize just how much of it is a time waster. Like, if I'm playing the game, it's because I ain't got nothing else to do, and I ain't trying to do nothing else. But realistically, I'm not sitting on nobody's game, y'all. I'm not. No, that's not a date for me. If we want to get together and go VR or go, play some video games, if I get to know, that's different. But me just, hey, let's play online. Like, I understand that's a thing between, that's a thing, but that's not like, I don't know. I don't know that I'm really a gamer in that way anymore. Maybe if it was in front of me, like, I don't know. We'll see. I just don't find that to be, I find that to be really a male. If you're asking me to game with you, that's your comfort zone. Let's get you out your comfort zone. I want to see who you are outside of that. Because gaming is like, that could be a detriment. Big time. I may not want a man that plays video games. Like, I don't even know, because I'm sorry, I'm grown. I don't think I've dated a man that actually plays video games in a very long time. However, I don't knock it, right? I'm not going to knock it because I do love video games, okay? Like, deep down, I love them. I just don't have the time for them anymore. When I was a kid, I had the Xbox, the PlayStation, all that. And deep down, I crave a system. Like, when I'm bored, I'm like, I don't watch TV, but I'd get down on some video games. Get me a couple controllers, maybe just one, and play. That's part of the reason why I think I'm like into Call of Duty right now, because it reminds me of having that system in front of me. But I don't know about just hanging out with somebody online playing video games. Like, I don't mind doing that when I'm just in the mood to play games, but I don't know. Can we get a little bit more creative? From a gamer standpoint, like, if I was a girl gamer, that might be rad, right? I'm a fucking accountant, bro. Like, I don't know how rad that really is. So it was cool to see the man, like, literally change up his tune, because a lot of men will get to the point where they're like, well, why? You're being rude. And then they get combative. It's the man that's combative. You don't even know me enough to know if I'm upset or not. But because you are naturally combative, now you got to come at me with, oh, you just upset. I could be smiling, but you wouldn't know that, because it's not my job to even, you don't need to know how I'm feeling. That's not none of your business. That doesn't change the fact that I don't like the fact that you're asking me a question that, if you read, right, like this man had said, oh, my bad. I could have read that. He didn't deny what I said. And that's another thing. He didn't tell me I was wrong for what I said. This is how women need to start understanding. Men know what the fuck they be doing. He didn't try to debate me, argue me, nothing. He read everything I said and then hit me with a damn. Yeah, you're right. I'm not that one. You can do all them other little girls like that, but I ain't no little girl, homie. So, I'm going to need you to, like, figure it out. You're a grown ass man. You need to be able to come at me with some more than that. Where are you from? The fuck? That's a weird, like, I don't know. So doesn't deny what I'm saying, doesn't argue with it, nothing. And a man, let's be clear, if he feels like you're not right, a lot of them tend to argue. I don't know why, but that's a thing. He hits me up, comes at me with a much better question that really was able to us to have a little bit of dialogue. You say you want to know me, I'm gonna keep hitting you with these one-word sentences because you asking stupid questions, right? Ask me a question with some substance, right? Act like you're an adult and ask me an adult kind of question. So he asked me this question, and I'm only talking about Facebook. Again, that's the only time this place really applies. Again, if you're on social media and your stuff is there and it's available, no person should be asking you what's on your page. That's the whole point of why it's on your page. Otherwise, what's the point in having a profile if folks ain't even reading it? What's the point in filling in all that information if folks are not reading it? Like, can we keep it 1,000? Like, that's like being on LinkedIn and you asking me what I do for a living. It's right on my fucking profile. Like, hello? Like, it's the same concept. How are you interested in me as an employer if you don't even know what I do for a living? Right? I'm just saying. So he goes on and he follows up with a better question, which tells me that he heard me, which is important. See, I'm not in the business of men not hearing me. If you're trying to talk to me and I tell you that you need to come correct, you better come correct. Otherwise, you ain't talking to me. It ain't no, like, I don't know where men get off on thinking that there's negotiation in my happiness. If I, like, there is not. And I don't want to say that it's my way or the highway, but in this pursuit, when you're interested in a woman, you don't get to argue with me about what I'm telling you I need from you in order for you to get what you want. This ain't negotiable. We don't get to negotiate value and worth over here. Y'all can do that with the other little girls y'all be dealing with. But there ain't negotiating my value in my worth or my time. And you will respect it or you will move around. That's what it is. I'm not a woman that's desperate and for a man. Now, sometimes do I feel like, dang, am I ever going to find the right one? I feel like that all the time because of who I am. And I know for a fact, like, y'all got to understand, a male is my mentor. A man has mentored me. So for me, it's like, I know my thought process is 100% accurate. And I also know there's not a lot of women that think like me as much anymore. If there ever was, I don't know. I also know men are not used to dealing with a woman like me. So when I'm coming in, I'm saying, nope, clean that up. Nope, this ain't gonna fly. Nope, I'm not tolerating this. Now it's the end of the world because they've been able to do so much with anybody. But I'm telling you, you ain't going to the top with everybody. So y'all better start choosing wisely. That's just the reality of it. I don't even, that's why I be saying, save yourself the rejection. If you can't handle the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen or my kitchen for that matter. So I was very, I want to say impressed a little bit. Like it was one of those like, okay. Most men want to argue with me. You did it. Most men want to flip it back on me, talking about how I got anger issues and I need to calm down. And it's like, bro, you're not even like, I don't even know you like that to be caring about you one way or the other. Like, I would never give you that much power over me. And for men to think that they're that important to where I would allow you to upset me, I'd block you before I allow you to get me all out of my, my feelings. or in my feelings and shit. That's crazy. I don't know why men do that shit, but I'm telling you now, the moment a man starts trying to check me for my temperature on my emotion, oh, you do know what happens, right? The conversation's over. That's the last you will ever get a conversation from me ever again. Because one, you don't know me. And two, we're not building a relationship where you could think you're going to be checking me anytime you are held accountable for your own actions. We're not doing them kind of games over here. Sorry. So to see this man, and again, I don't know this man from a can of paint, but what I told him was, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me. He actually heard me. And then because he doesn't know how to approach me now, because I done shook his shit up all the way, right? Now he's like, I hope you're having a great day. But you could tell it was like a question, but like he's trying to be polite as possible because he doesn't know. Like I wasn't, I hope I didn't annoy, I was not, the intent was not to annoy your day. Because he didn't know. And I read all that. I already know what all that is. But the fact that you took the time to find a better way to come about the question, in my opinion, I was like, imagine if he'd open it, because my personality is so, when my personality is going and I'm not upset or whatever, like I ain't got no emotions going, I'm very outgoing. So if you come to me with a question that's like, hey, like something like that, the first thought I'm thinking is, how do you know where I live, like where I'm from? That actually would have been a thought. And because I'm wondering, how do you know where I'm from? I'm naturally going to engage with you now because I'm trying to figure out, well, how do you know where I'm from? You see what I'm saying? Y'all have to know how to engage a woman. My curiosity is going to get the best of me. So if you keep it in a space where I could be like, I'm not saying that works for every time or every man or every situation. I'm just saying the type of question he followed up with was the question he should have opened up with. And like I said, I wasn't going to get all, well, next time you talk to a woman, that's how you do it. But what I told him was, imagine if you would have asked me that question first. Do you think, I mean, I would have received it better. Because y'all have to understand, we hear the same questions over and over again. It's the same pickup lines over and over again. It's the same literal word by word conversation over and over again. So if you're giving me the same thing that the last person gave me and I just chucked them to the side, I'm most likely not going to respond to you. Most likely. So I also know that question, well, why? Well, why? Right? That's a bait. The more you talk, the more he feels like he's got you, right? Listen, I know the game. So understand, I'm very particular about who I'm willing to entertain. And because he was able to follow up, he acknowledged what I said, he heard what I said, and he didn't talk, he just did. That was like, oh, okay. That's cool. Clearly you want to talk to me then, motherfucker. Like, I'll talk to you then. The moment he asked me, well, he said, well, I got to put my phone on the charger. Do you go to bed early? You know, that conversation stopped right there. I looked at the time. It was 7:45. I don't know you like that. Conversation's a wrap. It's 8:00. And yes, I do go to bed early, but he don't need to know that. So that's, I kind of had to respect him for that. And what he told me was, he was like, he said, I appreciate your response. He said, I like your response. So when I told him, I said, well, thank you for hearing me, because I think that's important. I think men need to understand, in order for a woman to be cooperative, you need to listen. It's not my job. I didn't come at him like by his mama. I just took his opportunity away. That's all. Okay, take care. Well, why? Wait, hold up, hold up. Why do you want to? What's up? Send him what I said 23 hours late before. Okay, yeah, yeah, you're right. I could have read that. You're right. Okay, well, let me flip the question. What about such and such and such? Okay, that's an engagement. That's a man that says, okay, I hear you. I'm going to. Now, keep in mind, I don't know the individual, but how you show up says everything. And I keep saying this. So now I'm back in my element. I don't want to be bothered, so I'm not going to keep talking to you. It's too late to talk. I could have told him, well, yeah, I go to bed at 8. He don't need to know all that right now. I don't know you. You don't need to know what I'm doing, if I'm in bed or not. He don't need to know that. My silence said everything. He stopped texting me. Thank God. Because I don't want to talk to you, and I'm not giving you the impression that you're going to be able to talk to me at any given time of the night. I don't know you. You see what I'm saying? It's setting a tone. And it also lets them know I don't need to keep talking to you to feel some type of way. Like, I got other shit going on. I don't need this interaction. But I'm giving it to you because you did something good. I give you just a little bit. We talked about how our parents are in the military, right? That's a good conversation. It was a good conversation. It was a real down to earth. It gave more insight as to who he is, and I was able to give some insight as to who I am. If you're asking me questions that I can answer with a one-word sentence, I'm going to give you that one-word sentence, and you're not going to like it. Or I can make you feel like you're important for the moment and have a dialogue with you like a normal person. So, it's cool to see that a lot of the things that I be learning about men, like men will not, like, they hate me, right? When it comes to dating, I'm not an easy person to date because you're not running game. Like, if men just stop trying to run game, it would be easy. But unfortunately, a lot of these men are focused on running game and getting over and manipulating and all this extra shit that it really don't need to be, but they make it about. And as a woman, I just feel like, because at first I was like, you know what? I'm not going to communicate none of this shit to a man because they should know better. But other men are telling me, no, speak the fuck up, say it. So it's cool to see it. And it's when a man is in, he's not looking at it from an emotional standpoint. Because the emotional standpoint is, oh, well, dang, you just got an attitude. Oh, you're so rude. I've heard this all week this week because I've been stopping men right there. I don't have time to be answering every last one of y'all's questions. Do you know how tiring that gets? I'm not filling out an application. I don't need to be given the same answer over and over and over again. And it really sounds redundant. Like, it's really annoying that every question y'all ask, it's like you haven't been taught how to go above and beyond the basics, right? And to me, that's laziness. This man heard what I said. I sent it to him. He knows very much that question, in my opinion, being that the information is in front of your face, is laziness. And like I said, what it tells me is that you will be lazy throughout the entire course of our interaction, regardless whether it turns into a relationship, whether we're just friends. It's laziness. And I do not understand laziness, right? I'm not like, unless you genuinely, all your shit's taken care of and you have no reason to be lazy, or you have every reason to be lazy, then I support it. But in a relationship, you're not showing up as my man being lazy, because I'm sorry. I need things. And laziness ain't one of them, god damn it. Okay? I'm gonna need you to get up off your, and I shouldn't have to tell you. It should be an automatic, and you do what you need to do as a man. That's how I see that. I don't know any different. Like, I'm not, like, I don't know. I'm not tolerating any different. So it was cool to see, and I wasn't rude. And I think that's, like, again, it's based upon perspective, right? Again, emotional men will see me as rude. Now, can I be rude at times? Of course. I feel like everybody can. But I don't know you enough to even be rude. I'm just letting you know, no, you're not passing go. Okay. And that's fine. Women are allowed to do that, especially when you're not able to read who you're dealing with. Right. I mean, no offense. It's like if you went up to Beyonce and shot your shot to Beyonce, I would expect Beyonce to put you in your place real quick. Cause she's fucking Beyonce, bro. Like, what do you think you're doing with a Beyonce? Like, a lot of these men don't even have it in them to date a Beyonce. And I say that from a image perspective. I don't know anything about her personality to know whether what she does and does not tolerate, right? But when we're looking at image, she's got the image of all images in terms of like queen, right? So why would you, if you're dealing with a peasant, you're not going to approach the peasant the same way you would approach the queen, unless you're a fool, which a lot of these men are. So I give credit to where credit's due. And the way I showed it was by having it doesn't hurt me to have a conversation with you. And I learned a lot about, I mean, to be honest, through that course of conversation, I actually learned a lot about him that's like, oh, okay, I kind of like, I mean, you're cool. You're not bad. Okay. I mean, I don't know you, right? You could be totally bad and just still pulling my leg, but at least I wouldn't be so hostile now. Like now, well, I don't want to use the word hostile, but y'all know what I mean. I wouldn't be so reserved, right? Now it's like, okay, if he hits me up, I'm actually going to talk to him. If he hits me up 2 months from now and says, hey, I'm checking on you, I'm actually going to say, hey, I'm doing well. How are you? Like, well, that's actually going to be a conversation. That's how you build a relationship, whether it's a friendship, a workship, a partnership, whatever. So y'all got to get out of this habit of this. I'm talking to every girl like she's every other girl, because not all of us really, and probably, like I said, I don't know what happens on the male end and how women react to that, but I am doing something different with my life right now. I'm really not striving to attract the same kinds of men over and over and over again. Like, I really want someone, if I'm going to take that time to invest and build, it's got to be with my husband. Like, I'm not about to be doing this with every man. I'm not dating. I mean, I've gone on a couple dates, but that's just for social media so I can take pictures of food and shit like that. I'm not taking them dates seriously. Right. So for me, the next person that I am out with and I'm exclusive with, that is the man that is going, if not has already, if not proposed, like that's the man I will be marrying. Right. I don't have time for anything else, anything in between, no casuals, no nothing. So in that case, every man that steps to me, to me, how I see it is, they don't need to know they're in the pickings, but that I got like, listen, it's quite a few men that, you know, are able to actually have a conversation with me because it's decent. And or I like, what they do, what they're into, their history, their background, right? So some men I actually do conversate with and or follow, right? And when those men hit me up at any given time, the dialogue is easy. They're still they're on a short leash because I don't know them, but the dialogue runs a lot smoother. They're able to joke with me, have a conversation with me, pull information out of me, and vice versa. Like it's flowing. You see? So when y'all are in women's DMs, y'all got to get out of this. Well, listen, I like people to read themselves out. So I'm not telling y'all what to do. Because again, if a woman likes it, I love it for her, not for me, but for her. I want a healthy relationship that I'm genuinely happy in. And I know that person is going to be genuinely happy with me. I'm at an age where I don't have to sacrifice who I am. Who I am is who I am. So you take it or leave it. And if it's too much for you, we stopping that shit at the door. It ain't no years going by and you wearing this goddamn mask, because men wear a mask, but I really feel like they tell you who they are. You just got to pay attention. It's men just do it different. A lot of men, if you really pay attention to who they, like I told you guys earlier, with my ex, and I don't mean to keep bringing him up, but with my ex who said, my ex wasn't even my type. Well, last January, and I think the reason why this is such a big thing for me is because my ex helped me choose myself over a relationship. And when a woman does that, let me tell y'all something, she's unstoppable. I know that I genuinely do not need to lean on somebody for something at all. I chose me instead of falling back into this trap and cycle of love and false hope and false dreams. And no, we're not doing that. So when this man says a year later, and it's interesting because it tells me that he's thinking about that time too, because it happened February. As a matter of fact, Valentine's Day, excuse me, of last year was the day I said, you know what, we're not doing this a second time. It's not happening. Right. And really, I didn't even say all that. I gave him an ultimatum. Because what I don't understand is, how is it that my boss Annette is able to get me something on Valentine's Day? My roommate was able to give me something on Valentine's Day. This shit didn't cost very much. The female people I work with, was able to give me something on Valentine's Day. But you telling me it's too much to ask? I'm sorry. I gave myself something on Valentine's Day. I went and bought a whole new set of jewelry. But it's too much to ask a man that's trying to get back into my good graces. Buddy, I'm sorry, but we're not doing them days no more. You will be taking care of my birthday, Valentine's Day, and Christmas. Those are mandatory in my relationship. I don't know about anybody else, but if I do it for myself, I damn sure expect it from my man. Do you understand? And if you don't have the finances to be giving me no gift, you got to go. Because that matters to me. Those 3 days, if I'm doing it for myself, that means it matters to me. So I expect anybody I matter to for that to matter to them too, because that adds to my happiness. And it's not about materialistic things, but on my birthday and on Christmas and on Valentine's Day, yeah, I think that matters. Sorry. I'm not one of these women that you just not gonna give me no gift. You just think you can ride a free wave on my birthday. Those days are done, right? And if that seems high maintenance to y'all, you're not my type. So for him to say it a year later finally tells me you was wasting my time from the very beginning, right? But maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you was lonely and you had you was desperate, whatever. But that also means that time I walked away from you, this whole pity party about, oh, well, my ex gave up on me. She should have stayed. She didn't want me now that I'm up. All this extra pity party nonsense should not be there. You shouldn't even really be talking about me at this point, right? But understand, when I made that decision, I already knew what I meant to this person. I had already seen it. I could see it in the way that he was moving. A man that's really trying to get in my good graces, why are you falling into the same pattern that I said I didn't like the first time around? Right? It only took a week to figure that one out. And I gave him a chance. I genuinely listened. I heard him out. I mean, we didn't do like I didn't kiss him or none of that. I hugged him, right? I let him apologize to my daughter for doing what he did because he had no business doing it in front of her, but that's what his excuse was, you know, what to get me around him was, hey, I should have never yelled at you in front of her. You should have never yelled at me, period. But okay. So I was trying to do the right thing. But I've learned as a woman, I say what I gotta say. And again, it's not up for negotiation. When it comes to how I expect a man to love me and how I deserve to be treated and loved, that's not a negotiation. There is no compromising on that. And I'm okay with a man weeding himself out. So if I seem rude or I'm demanding too much, you're not my type. You're not the guy for me. That's all. Because where I watched two men accuse me of being angry and, rude, right? There was one who was willing to fix his tone and willing to correct the shit, right? And he didn't apologize. I want to be clear about that. That's another thing. But he was like, yeah, I could have read that. You're right. I mean, essentially, I could have done that. I probably need to read more. Just saying. So that's all I gotta say. It's just cool to see. I think what that does for me, because I'm on this journey, right? What it showed me was, yeah, you may not two, three men, because see, I'm under the impression that 99.9% of men are bad men, right? It's that simple. So, but it goes to show that what one man will not do, another man will. And I know that I'm going to be thinking about this for a little bit because, again, this is my journey of turning my little love life, of failure of love life, or whatever around so that it's advantageous for me and not harming me. Right. And so when I see what I've been taught, well, when I implement what I've been taught and I see the changes and I'm able to look at it from an objective standpoint, because see, when I was younger, I just wanted to be chosen. You know, I didn't really look at all the stuff I'm looking at now at all, actually. That's what made me men like my past attracted to me. I don't know if they were attracted to me or if they were attracted to how naive I was. You understand? So, and when men get mad and they're like, oh, well, why are you so rude? All that does is tell me I'm right. All that does is tell me you just called them on their shit and now they're throwing a temper tantrum about it. So it was cool to see that in real time. I realized, like I said, I don't have to be rude, right? Because I wanted to. So I just got done saying it. But I was able to change the dynamic with vocalizing my needs in a way, right? I just sent him the screenshot and allowing him to pick his decision. So that was cool to see. Like I said, it ain't nothing serious in terms of like, oh, I like him or nothing. I don't know the man. I don't mind having a conversation with a stranger, right? As long as the conversation is respectable and, it's engaging and, it's normal human conversation. But does that allow him to be able to open the door and talk to me again? Yes, it does, right? So that's how you do it. Like this social media nonsense, y'all got to stop looking at us as numbers or girls on a fucking screen, like, and start understanding we're human. I'm a human. You talk to me like you would talk to me if we were out on the street. If you're just trying to get to know me and you're not, there's no ulterior motive, right? Because that's what y'all be trying to play. That's the whole point. There is an ulterior motive, and it has nothing to do with you liking me as much as it has to do with you trying to get in my pants. Two different things. So these are things that women need to start holding men accountable for. Pay attention, because if you was in a relationship, I don't care how fine he is, you get in a relationship with this man, the first thing you're going to be complaining about is how he doesn't pay attention. He doesn't listen to me. Well, 9 times out of 10, he didn't do that at the very beginning. I can't tell you countless times I've been on dates where men interrupt me, they talk over me, right? I'm dating a man, he'll tell me what his needs are, it's more important than mine. And I can't give somebody something when I'm not happy, meaning that I don't even function right when I'm not happy, right? So it's about me. It's about my happiness. This is what my life is about, me. It ain't about no man. It's about me. You understand? So it's imperative that you listen to men, pay attention to what they're saying, and at the jump, correct it. He don't know me from a can of paint. So it ain't no thing to train a man. I mean, I'm not saying I'm training him. That's not my job, but that's kind of what it ends up being. You're training this man how to treat you. And if he's interested, even slightly, he'll change a little bit. And if you keep like, I don't know, this man just showed me it works. And really, when the men are weeding themselves out, they're showing me it works too. So this is a red flag y'all need to be paying attention to, especially when on social media, man. It's a lot of women. I know that it's hard not to meet people on social media. I don't mind talking to people who follow me. They really do follow me, right? So it's almost like if I had a fan base, right? I got to be kind to my fans. I got to talk to my fans. I got to have my fans love me before they unfollow me and unsupport me. And unfortunately, I'm a woman and my fans happen to be a bunch of men, right? So that's all I got to say on the matter, y'all. With that being said, let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I'm out. Peace.